Hey everyone, Jamari here with another video on BVA. As you all can see, I'm very excited to share with you all my brand new logo for my YouTube channel. I'm very excited to reveal it to you guys. I'm very proud of it. I'm not going to stop improving, but with my brand new logo comes a brand new set of videos I want to start called Binge Worthy. And to get into that a little bit, what I'm going to be doing is I'll break down a series that I'm either currently watching or I just finished watching or I used to watch that I just absolutely adored and loved, and kind of go over it briefly and tell you guys why you should be watching it. But before I do get into my first series, I'm going to let you guys know there will definitely be spoilers. There's going to be some big spoilers. I'll try to stay away from the huge plot point spoilers, but especially for the first season of the show and for the first season of most series, there will be plenty of spoilers for that first season. But yes, Game of Thrones I absolutely adore. I literally just got done watching the series finale. Um just completely blew my mind away. I love this show. I've loved it since season 1. We get the season 1 starts with Ned and Robert picking up after Robert's rebellion. I've read 2 of the books. The show is based off of the series of books, A Song of Ice and Fire, but going back into this, it picks up from Robert's Rebellion, and when the Hand of the King, which was the mentor of Robert and Ned Stark, dies, Robert goes north to ask Ned Stark to be the Hand of the King. And this is Ned Stark. This is Robert's best friend. Robert Baratheon is the king of the Seven Kingdoms, and him and Ned just have this fun relationship. And
You got fat.
but King Robert Baratheon is married to Cersei Lannister, and they actually have 3 kids together. But here's the funny thing about this: Queen Cersei Lannister's kids aren't Robert Baratheon's. They're actually her twin brother, Jaime Lannister's, who's monikered the Kingslayer. And him and Cersei actually have this children together. And in episode 1 of Game of Thrones, Jaime Lannister actually pushes Bran Stark out of a tower, literally in episode 1. And they also have their little brother Tyrion Lannister, who is honestly one of my favorite characters from the show. He's a dwarf, a imp. He's hated by his family pretty much for killing his mother at birth. But I'm not going to jump into all of the families and connections and ties, because honestly, if I tried to explain all of the houses and all the characters and all the relationships that were in this show, we'd be here for hours. So instead of doing that, again, I'll just tell you guys, please go read the books. They're amazing. I love them. They're long and intensive, but they're beautifully written. But since I talked on the Starks and the Lannisters just a little bit, before I move on, I want to touch on one more big house in the show, House Targaryen. Now, in the time of Valyria, the Targaryens were the ones that actually built King's Landing, and in the show you might only be familiar with Daenerys Targaryen, which is one of the primary characters of the show. But in season 1 and early on, we also do have Viserys Targaryen, who is the brother of Daenerys. But his character is more used as a foil to Khal Drogo's character. Yeah, this is Aquaman, but Khal Drogo's character is very amazing. He's part of the Dothraki, which is not a part of Westeros. It's actually across the sea, where the Targaryen children were taken out of exile to be hidden. But Khal Drogo actually gets the chance to kill Viserys
I dig it.
and pours boiling gold all over it, melted gold all over his head. But once he dies, we actually get Daenerys, who walks through a fire, and through this fire, she actually gives birth. Well, doesn't necessarily give birth. She hatches 3 stone eggs that give birth to 3 baby dragons. And yes, all of this is happening in season 1 of Game of Thrones. But with that being said, Game of Thrones is not just about family ties and dragons, although it is very crazy in that sense. Game of Thrones touches on a more political aspect. Game of Thrones breaks down political factions, people's best interest, people's personal interest, selfish intent. It just breaks down a lot. And although I touched on the three main houses, there's a whole bunch of houses and families and banners. We got House Tully that's involved in the show. You also have House of Tarth, which is also a place that's on the show. And even though we don't get into much of the places and all of the characters, there's so many places, there's so many characters for you to love and enjoy. They have the Mountain, the Hound, there's three dragons. The mystical side to this is not lacking at all. There's an Ice King. It's just so much. And as far as there's characters to love, like Arya Stark, which is one of my favorite characters. There's pure characters, there's good characters. You got characters like Sansa Stark, who is just a good girl who wants to be a lady. We got Robb Stark. There's also characters to hate, like Ramsay Bolton. Joffrey Lannister was one of my least favorite characters ever. But then you also got middle ground characters who you don't necessarily hate, but you don't like. And they, for lack of a better term, teach you to play the Game of Thrones. Like Littlefinger here, who Peter Baelish was amazing in this show.
I did what I did for the good of the realm.
The realm. Do you know what the realm is? It's the 1,000 blades of Aegon's enemies. A story we agree to tell each other over and over till we forget that it's a lie.
But what do we have left once we abandon the lie? Chaos. A gaping pit waiting to swallow us all.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder. Many who try to climb it fail. Never get to try again.
And I feel like this really captures what Game of Thrones is about. It's completely chaotic and all over the place, but it's a story of trying to climb that chaos and hecticness. But if you're not worried about the political side of things, like I said, they got children of the forest, giants, night kings, there's dragons, so much mystical stuff. And even if you want to watch it for the war battles and like if you're into like guerrilla tactics and a lot of old kind of war tactics that they would have used back in the day, they have tons of this. Game of Thrones is just so amazing and so, I won't say necessarily accurate, because it does have a fantastic side of it, but it really captures you in that world. But that's it for me. I won't spoil too much for you guys. Please go check out Game of Thrones. It's an amazing series. That's it for me over here at BVA. But please, if you agreed or disagreed, liked or disliked what I said, comment down below. Please don't forget to like the video. And of course, please, please, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications. That's it for me. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you guys on my next video.